Hello people, I am the Real Comic Book Gamer, and today we are going to be talking about subverting... What the hell? No! We're going to be talking about subverting your expectations, because that seems to be a pretty big trend now after The Last Jedi and with what's going on currently with Game of Thrones. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is mainly because of what's going on with Game of Thrones, and of course this was a big thing with The Last Jedi, and it seems that now it's an excuse for really bad writing, for doing stuff that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's subverting your expectations. You didn't like it because that's not what you were expecting. That's bullshit. 100% that is bullshit. There are so many times where things happen that the audience wasn't expecting, didn't necessarily want to happen, but it happened and people are fine with or loved, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So to me, the difference between subverting your expectations done right and done wrong is done right is when you're giving the audience something that they didn't know they wanted, to where done wrong is to where it's more of something that doesn't make any sense within the context of the characters in the story and just the overall movie itself, to where it's like, that doesn't make any sense at all. So I'll give you two examples, both set within the Star Wars universe. So one of those examples is Empire Strikes Back. The biggest plot twist in movie history happens at the end of that movie, when Vader tells him, "No, I am your father." No one saw that coming. No one was like, I bet Vader is his dad, besides like, who knows, like 2 people, but majority of people did not think that was going to happen or saw that coming. From what we knew, Luke's dad was dead. Vader was not his father. Luke even tells him right there, he's like, yeah, Obi-Wan told me what happened to my father. He told me you killed him. And that's what we knew as an audience. So this flipped everything we knew on its head, but people weren't pissed about it. Granted, this wasn't the age of Twitter, but still, you could still see the overall like audience reaction to it. People aren't like, oh, that's stupid, we knew that his father was dead, there's no way that Vader should be his father, that doesn't make any sense, outrage, we should remake the movie, all this other stuff. It wasn't like that. No, people were like, that's a damn good twist, that really subverted my expectations in a good way. It makes sense. That adds a whole new layer to everything. It also sets everything up for Return of the Jedi, because that throne room scene would not be near as good at the end of the Return of the Jedi, would not be near as good without the context of Vader being Luke's father, because without that, why would Luke try to save him? If that's not his dad, why would Luke really try to save him? Luke would be like, here's this guy that cut my hand off, has been an asshole to me throughout all these movies, and is still being an asshole to me. I'm just gonna kill him. And he's talking crap about my sister. But since it's his father, he's like, no, I think there's still good in him. And it's his father. He doesn't want to have to kill his father. So it adds something. It actually made sense. It was a damn good plot twist, and it set up the next movie, and it set up the best part of the next movie. That throne room scene is spectacular in every way imaginable, and a big part of it is because Vader is Luke's father. To where if you compare it to a subversion from The Last Jedi, let's say Luke almost killing Kylo Ren. Could I see a thought entering Luke's head about him being like, this kid's possibly evil, he's having some bad thoughts, I should just end it right here and avoid a whole nother Death Star situation, a whole nother empire just enslaving people and just being fascists and all this other bad things. I could just, avoid all that by killing him. Maybe he thought that for a second. Would Luke, the Luke we knew from the original trilogy that went so far as to redeem his father, the guy that cut his hand off and was just a very bad dude, murdered tons of people, murdered children, that decided to redeem him, and when he was told all hope was lost and that he should kill Vader, was like, nah, there's still good in him, I'm going to try to redeem him? Would that same guy go, my nephew thought some bad things, I'm not going to talk about it with his mother or anything or try to have an intervention, I'm going to go kill him right now? No, Luke would never go as far as to light up his lightsaber over his bed and be like, this is it for you, boy. That ain't gonna happen. That doesn't make sense. That's just being like, oh, the audience will never expect this. That's not doing a twist that adds up and adds layers to the movie and makes sense and adds more to it. That just is literally just doing it to be like, oh, they'll never expect this. That's not anything that makes sense in any way at all. All it is the whole reason to do that is just to be like, they'll never see this coming. That's not the way to do a good plot twist or subvert expectations. You don't do it just because they won't expect it. You do it to add to the movie and because it makes sense. Vader being Luke's father makes sense. No one saw it coming, but when you think about it, you're like, oh, that makes sense, and then it adds so much more to it, to where Luke almost killing his nephew in that way makes no sense, doesn't add up at all with the prior 3 movies, with the original trilogy that he was in. It doesn't make sense whatsoever, so you're not adding anything to it. And of course, there's tons of other examples of subverting your expectations in The Last Jedi that don't make any sense, but I just wanted to do a one-on-one there because you see the biggest plot twist in history where people are like, oh, I like that, and then you have these crappy ones where people are like, oh, you just didn't like it because you didn't expect it. No one expected Vader to be Luke's father. People liked it. That's why, because it made sense and it added to it, to where all these other subverting of your expectations don't make any damn sense and go against every single thing we know. And that's why. And it's just this whole, ever since The Last Jedi, it seems like there's been this culture of like going against the fans. Now again, there are some toxic fans, they exist, but they're such a small minority of the fan base. Most of it is just passionate fans who love the franchise, who are like, I don't like seeing it just being raped constantly. Please stop doing that. I would prefer it if the movies were good. And then people be like, oh, how dare you? You're just a whiny fanboy. It makes me so mad. I'm seeing the same thing with Game of Thrones. You have people who are like, hey, we have this whole arc. Don't worry, I won't do any Game of Thrones spoilers. I'm not going to be spoiling it. But you have a whole arc for like a character, and then you just revert it back without any explanation whatsoever. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe don't do that. Or if you're going to revert it, build up to it more or something. And then you have everyone going, oh, how dare you? That's just whiny fanboys. They shouldn't have any say in anything. And it's just like, if you're not making a story for the fans in a sense, because obviously it's, you know, the creators and it's their artwork and they get to decide how it ends, of course, but if you're not making it for the enjoyment of others, why are you making it? Of course it's a story you want to tell, but you want to tell it because you think other people would enjoy it too, right? Like, at least that's what I've always seen, is like, you have an interesting story to tell and you think other people would enjoy it as well. But if you're just trying to tell a story to piss people off, that's terrible. That doesn't make sense to me. Why share it with other people? Why not just, you know, keep it to yourself? It doesn't add up, and I just hate this whole culture of yelling at the fans and being like, they're just whiny fanboys that are toxic and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, to me, when you successfully do a surprise through a storyline, it's called a plot twist. When you do it poorly, it's called subverting your expectations. But anyways, that's it for today. I just wanted to talk about that because it had been kind of irking me seeing all these different people talk about this and yell at fans and be like, you just didn't like it because you didn't expect it, when the biggest plot twist of all time is renowned for being amazing. People tend to forget that for whatever reason. It's like, yeah, there's a clear quality difference here. It's not just because it surprised people and that's why they didn't like it. It's because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, please let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this whole trend of subverting your expectations? Because I don't really like it. I like surprises, I like plot twists, but when they make sense. But anyways, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.